Hello everybody and welcome to layout update number 8 today on RJTrains. Make sure to use code RJTrains at trains.com for $10 off any order $50 or more. So before we dive into the layout updates, there are just a couple things I want to talk about quickly. And very quickly approaching is the Fall York Train Show in York, Pennsylvania, put on by the Eastern Division of the TCA. And I will be attending. I will be there Thursday afternoon, as well as most of the day Friday. I know on Friday I'll be wearing my trademark Acela pullover. So if you see me wandering around the halls, feel free to grab me, say hello. My favorite part about attending York is being able to meet you guys who are able to watch my videos, because it's really nice to be able to put faces to names. Also on Friday, the YouTube influencer panel is returning. So at 11 a.m. at the Veranda Hall, there will be a panel including Ben's Trains, Eric Siegel from Eric's Trains, Peachy's Trains, as well as myself on a Q&A panel. So 11 o'clock in the Veranda Hall. You can come down. We're going to do about an hour-long Q&A, and then afterwards a meet and greet and being able to chat with you guys one-on-one. So that's 11 a.m. in the Veranda Hall, and I hope to see plenty of you guys there. All right, so now let's dive into the layout updates. And I'm going to be quite frank with you guys. I definitely haven't gotten a ton done, but I did feel like I needed to make a video just updating you guys in general what's going on in the layout and York and so on and so forth. But I have also done a ton of model customizations in the meantime, so I'm also going to show off a couple of those that I've worked on. Some really cool, neat, and interesting projects that I'm very, very happy with the way how they came out. So I'm going to stop looking at the camera, and then we are going to, I'll point out all the little stuff that I've done around the layout. Anyways, you guys know how this works. So this back corner is where I've been focusing most of my attention on because it's been a real pain in the neck. Now, I actually haven't done anything back here besides move the Menards billboard, add a couple of vehicles, a couple of set dressings temporarily. But, it's looking complete-ish, and I'm very happy with that. Most of the layout work has actually come over here in this area of the layout in recent weeks. So starting off in the very back, I've gotten rid of the war memorial, and I've created this billboard out of an MTH billboard that just says thanks for visiting Maple's Ferry with a picture of Maple, and that is the Potomac River in Harper's Ferry. So I like that better than the war memorial back there. And it gets another picture of Maple on the layout. Behind the buildings here, we've added a brick sidewalk to match the rest of the layout. And then I also got this same textured cobblestone sticker from Micromark. And so I've added this as the back alleyway behind all of the buildings. I guess not totally realistic, but it looks so much better than looking at the original white foam board, which you can still see there. And I've got a trailer and garbage truck, pickup truck just hanging out back here for the meantime. And then in terms of scenery, we've got this little water tower scene. Don't know if I'm going to use that water tower or get a different one. But just, with some ballast, some grass, better than the pink foam that was there originally. The goal is to see as little of pink foam as humanly possible. And then finishing up this section, I did some ground cover back here. The point of this is to make it look a little rough. So this was the first layer. So we've got static grass, regular grass, dirt, lichen, and just a bunch of other grubby stuff. So make this look like it's a little bit more of a neglected area, as it should be back behind the buildings. But really happy with how this scene is turning out. And now that I've pretty much done everything in the back corner, I can finally start scenicking this front area because I basically have to sit and stand on this area of the layout in order to do work on that area of the layout. So now that that's all complete, I can finally work on this area, which is very exciting. So I've moved the War Memorial, that is where the Maples Ferry billboard is, up front. So we've got the American flag, my little statue of a Revolutionary War general, as well as the pencil sharpener cannon. The rail car with the cannon on it is just sitting over here for now. I'm going to try to find a spot for it in the layout, but I'm unsure. But I think this looks better up front. You know, I'd rather have the American flag right up front and center on the layout rather than tucked away in a back corner back there where you can hardly see it. So happy with the American flag up front. One big overall change to the layout is now that the town is relatively complete, I do have to paint some more traffic lines and whatnot, but I've decided to break out my huge box of 1/43rd scale automobiles and place them around town just to give the town a little bit more life. I've also started populating the town with a few people on the sidewalks. Obviously more to do in that department, but overall the town is much more lively. I do want to change a couple of the names of the buildings on the Lionelville buildings. We'll get to that eventually. Unfortunately, the wires came disconnected for the trolley loop, so it's not operational right now. And it's a pig pain in the neck to get to those wires. So we'll get to getting the trolley loop going again eventually. For now, you know, it serves its purpose. And then on the edge of town, originally this was just foam board spray painted in a light gray to represent the sidewalk. I've added the brick paper to make it a brick sidewalk to match the rest of the town. I definitely have to do some weathering to make it all look better. It also didn't help that I didn't cut the foam board straight when I originally put it in, so the brick also doesn't look great. So more work definitely to do on this, but it just makes the town look so much more complete, in my opinion. And the last bit of layout work is that I did another batch of about 14, 15 trees. You can't really tell, but you know, I spaced them out this time just so different areas of the mountain were, you know, populated with trees. I ran out of the Scenic Express super leaves that I use, so I have to place an order for those. And now it's getting cold here, which makes making trees outside a bigger pain in the neck. So the mountain is the one thing that I really want to get done on the layout as quickly as possible. This way I'm able to do this part of the layout, the river or highway. I still haven't decided yet. But you know, there's a dozen more trees up on the mountain, so it's definitely looking a lot better. And now on to the customizations. The first is a follow-up on Southern 630. A lot of you guys hated the sounds Atlas put in this locomotive, and a lot of you guys hated the plastic coal load that Atlas included with the locomotive. So I've since installed my own realistic coal load using Brennan's coal, anthracite coal, which makes it look a heck of a lot better. It's a real coal load, of course it looks better. And we've got an all new updated sound file, a custom sound file done by Sid from Sid's Trains. So I'll include a clip here of it running. With all the new sounds, the new whistle, so it doesn't have that European stupid PRR sounding whistle. So shout out to Sid, and on the bottom, it'll scroll with all the things that he changed from the sound file. So thank you, Sid, again for doing that. It makes this locomotive so much better than what it was out of the box. The last two pieces of customization are both British related, so I'm sorry for dragging British stuff into this video, but I've repainted this Dapple 7-plank wagon to be Scruffy, which is a character in the Thomas the Tank Engine series. So I custom painted it, got water slide transfer decals, letter by letter, painstakingly put them on the side of both sides of this car, painted it, weathered it, and I think it's looking extremely good. I'm very, very happy with the way it turned out. Of course, could get some paint touch up here and there, which I will get around to doing, as well as making a ballast load for the car. That's on my list of things to do. So it's not 100% complete, but I'm extremely happy with the way it turned out. And last but not least, I finally got around to pretty much completing these passenger cars for Duke. These are laser cut Pico kits, and the biggest pain in the neck is adding these paper roofs to the cars. It's just cardstock, and it's a real pain in the neck to add them. As you can see, I still need to fix that one. It's bubbling up. But I've got them pretty much all painted. I've got the roofs on. I even put people in the passenger cars. So it looks really good sitting up here on the mountain. Now, I get this question every time I talk about Duke and the narrow gauge stuff. If I'm going to add a narrow gauge loop to this layout, the answer is no. I don't have any room. I'd like to do it on a future layout. Honestly, Duke's probably going to come down from the mountain sometime soon. This way I can do like a real actual scenery up there. But it's just nice having the model up there right now for fun. Well, that about wraps it up for the layout update, and I hope you all enjoyed. Just reiterating what I said at the beginning of the video, I'll be at the York Train Show. I'll be on the YouTuber influencer panel at 11 a.m. in the Veranda room with Eric Siegel, Peachy's Trains, and Ben's Trains. I hope to see as many of you guys as possible there, and I'm sure there'll be a live stream going on as well. And I think Eric's going to record it and re-upload it later. So make sure to, if you're at York, check out the Veranda Hall, 11 a.m. on Friday. But for now, let's watch some of these trains run around the layout. Two of my favorites that aren't Amtrak or Long Island, so sorry if you're looking forward to seeing some Amtrak or Long Island Railroad in this video. On the top loop, we've got a pair of MTH and Atlas CSX ES44s pulling a mixed garbage and intermodal train, something that I would see quite often when I lived in Washington, D.C. And on the bottom loop, we've got the RFP F19, beautiful blue boiler with a mixed freight train. But for now, take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you all at the York Train Show in a couple of weeks.